How the fuck do you kill James Bond?
I don't know.
I just don't understand.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
I don't understand how you kill the unkillable. How do you kill James Bond? Bond.
It's impressive.
James Bond.
It's impressive how okay with it I was.
First of all, if you are going to a movie and you're expecting traditional James Bond, you get a lot of that, except for the fact about him living at the end of it.
Let's be honest here. It's his last movie. This was a great send-off.
Is it the last James Bond movie?
No.
Then why is he dead?
Because the next James Bond isn't going to be Daniel Craig's James Bond, just a different actor.
Doesn't matter. Does Sean Connery die as James Bond?
No.
What's the first dude's name? Roger Moore? Whatever.
Yeah.
Did he die as James Bond?
No.
Did Pierce Brosnan die as James Bond?
No.
Then why the fuck do we kill Daniel Craig as James Bond?
Because Daniel Craig wanted him to die. And I think that means a lot.
Daniel Craig gets in fights at straight bars, but likes to go to gay bars because he doesn't get in fights.
What?
Pull the article up. Pull it up, Ethan. Pull it up.
Well, it's probably because he's James Bond and people want to fight James Bond.
Well, no, I guess they want to kill him.
Probably.
Ridiculous.
But, okay, let's start from the beginning. That first 15 minutes. Can we talk about that?
Sure.
That was a great opening to a decent movie. If the movie had just been that level of like, holy shit for the entire movie, it would have been the best movie ever.
So check this out. You take the first 15 minutes.
Uh-huh.
You take the last 30 minutes.
Without the last 2 minutes?
Correct. No. You leave the last 2 minutes in. I know they had to film another one. They had to, like in Rocky Balboa, you filmed Rocky getting beat, Rocky winning. Okay. Yeah. They went with Rocky getting beat because you still get the send off.
Yeah.
Okay. This one, I'm sure they filmed James Bond dying, James Bond living.
Oh, yeah.
Why not just have some cool hypersonic missile thing come through and hit the bombs as before they explode on him? Or why not have him in a spot where the bombs aren't landing? Because that was a big ass island, and he was only in the spot where he got killed.
Here's the thing.
I'm over it.
You've got to realize the story of it.
No time to die. There was at the very end of the movie. The very end of the movie was plenty of time for James Bond to die.
It wasn't the time to die because he could have had the future, but he got hit with the nanobots. And
here's what I think. I think he found out he was a dad and faked his death. That's what I think.
Well, that just kind of like ties right into the last episode, doesn't it?
Yep. That's what happened.
Oh man,
and it just hit me.
Jeez. No, here's the thing.
That baby does have blue eyes.
Okay. So let's start from the beginning. We'll work our way through this movie.
Make it quick.
15 minutes. First 15. You open up and it's James Bond and this woman we don't know. Actually, even before that, it's a snowy tundra and this family we have no idea about. This woman who is a drunk, drugged up, I don't know what she's supposed to be, but I'm going to say prostitute. She kind of looked like a prostitute.
That's very judgmental, but sure.
But she was this mother of this little girl.
Yeah.
They're living in the snowy tundra right next to this frozen lake, and they're the only ones out there in Norway. Mm-hmm. And there's this strange figure with a gun walking up to the house.
Typical Bond movie.
It's a good Bond start.
Villain.
It's a good villain. And he's wearing a mask. It's like a kabuki mask. Yeah. And that is one of the creepiest things in this entire movie, and I loved it.
A full mask.
Yeah,
the mask
there's
is not
no
messed up with
anything. And it's made, it was like made of wood or something. Did you see that?
Wood or glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good. So you start off this movie, and it's this little girl. She sees something outside. She gets real scared. She goes to her mother. Her mother's drunk and on the couch, not really paying attention to her. She's doing something. She was smoking at the very least.
Yeah. Ash is falling on her face, falling asleep.
And the little girl realizes, oh no, the person's trying to get inside.
Yeah.
She goes down to this hallway, and the guy's right there.
The door's locked.
He shoots open the window, and she's trying to open the safe room. Can't get into it.
Password denied.
Runs over, and she grabs this gun from under the sink that we see before, and I liked that. It was really cool. And so she grabs the gun, and she hides again in her bedroom in the loft. And the guy just walks in after shooting out the window, climbs in, goes to the mother, and kills the mother. Just straight up.
Yeah, Marcus is terrified.
asks, poor Marcus.
He's 6, by the way.
Yeah, he probably is traumatized just a little bit. But he walks up, asks where the dad is, and the mom had already been telling the daughter, "Your dad's a killer. He's a terrible person. You love killers." It's very traumatizing. Kills the mom because the mom won't tell him. Well, she's too drunk and fucked up to really tell him anything, so he just kills her.
She thinks she just went to sleep. She didn't. She died.
She did.
Yeah.
And the guy goes upstairs, tries to find the little girl. Can't find her until her Tamagotchi goes off.
Sure.
That is one of the funniest things ever to me.
Good little retro spin there.
Yeah. The Tamagotchi goes off because it's hungry. And the guy walks over. Girl jumps up, shoots him multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, good for her. She was very accurate for a little girl.
Shot him everywhere but the face.
Yeah. Well, no, she shot the mask. The mask was broken.
I thought it broke when he fell.
He tumbles back off the ledge and breaks through the banister.
Yeah.
Mask is broken. She's like, "Oh shit, I gotta get rid of this dead body."
Yeah, I'm a murderer now.
She literally drags his body towards the frozen lake.
This jacked, strong 6-year-old child.
Yeah.
Maybe 8.
And he's like covered in like this. Did you see that? He had like things going through his veins, like that black, like it looked like he was sick.
I mean, that's how he was in the rest of the movie, right?
He looked old in the rest of the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he looked.
So
there was something different.
So you're thinking he just got poisoned in that,
or something like that?
Okay, gotcha.
Maybe he had been poisoned and he's still living through it, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So this guy is just like, he should be dead. He's shot multiple times.
Looks like Freddy Krueger, but in a Bond movie.
Yeah. And he gets up. He does the full like breathe in, and it freaks her out. She
Undertaker.
runs. Yeah, he does a full Undertaker.
He did the
actually.
Undertaker. Sure did.
And he runs. She starts running into the frozen lake. He runs after her, limping because he's been shot. And she starts making cracks in the lake. She falls through.
Yep.
He shoots the lake to save her. Because he sees her eyes and he's like, "Sure, I gotta save this."
Real quick,
girl.
I'm gonna bash this movie real quick on this spot. I just never thought about. So you're telling me that 50-pound child broke the glass, broke the ice,
yeah,
but that 200-pound man just stood there and shot her.
That is a very good point. I can appreciate that
on ice that was already cracked.
Yes.
Okay.
Because of her.
Okay, you Bond people. Let's tighten it up a little bit. All right, tighten your ship up.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, keep going.
So you then have it flashes forward. It was like she was remembering. Dude, you see the woman come out of she's now older. She's 30 something, I would guess. I don't know how old these people are.
How dare you judge a woman's age? Like
I don't know how old
she was 21. Okay.
Yeah. She's not a day over 25.
Yeah.
But she comes out of the water. They're in like what? Italy? Rome?
Sure.
Because they end up at the Acropolis. So it's Italy
it has
somewhere.
to be, right.
So she comes out of the water and you see over by the rocks, a man's walking over. It's Bond.
But also she's coming out of the water as if she's been pulled out of the water from a frozen tundra and reliving that experience.
Yeah. It's trauma.
Yes.
There's a lot of things about trauma in this movie.
Overlooked by a very masculine man, Bond.
James Bond.
And
they get in the car, and is it the Aston Martin? Is that the
old
model?
school one?
Yeah, the silver gray.
It's either that or a Jag.
Yeah.
They did a great job with the cars because it was like a very traditional car from each of the eras of the Bond movies. I did appreciate that. Anyways,
yeah, I appreciate that as well. So you've got Bond and this woman. They go to the Acropolis or in some city in Rome or Italy or somewhere, and they're like throwing out these pieces of paper that are on fire. And secrets in the past and letting go into the new year.
Yes.
And this woman is telling Bond that he needs to let go of Vesper, who is the woman that he loved in, what was it, Casino Royale? Casino Royale. I did see that one in the theater as well. So she's telling him he needs to let go of Vesper, but he's like, I don't know all of your secrets. You should tell me your secrets if I'm going to tell you mine. And she doesn't. She burns them away.
Yeah.
The next morning, he goes to Vesper's grave, says goodbye, and says that he always loved her. And then it explodes. The first jump scare of this movie.
Yes, it does. Very quick.
That was the moment where I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
Yep.
Because it was, especially in the IMAX theater, it was dead quiet.
Yeah, it was.
It was perfect. And just all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
And the sound design for this movie was fantastic as
Very
well.
good.
Because whenever there was an explosion in Bond's ears and he was like
Ooh,
flashbanged,
yeah. That was cool.
the entire movie is flashbanged.
Yeah, so the best ever flashbang in a movie.
Yeah.
I'd say second is Saving Private Ryan, but it was better than that. If they could do that in a new Saving Private Ryan, that'd be strong.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, you on.
But yeah, so whenever Bond, there's an explosion near him or anything, and you have the ringing in his ears, the entire movie gets muffled, and it takes a while for it to come back.
Almost as if it's real.
Yeah, and I appreciated that.
I do too.
And it's the scene from the trailer. It's him on the bridge. That is my favorite scene of any Bond film now. Of him being on the bridge, and there's these guys walking towards him, starting to shoot at him, and a car comes up from behind him, and he just ducks under this little outcropping, and the car goes up and over, and then he jumps off the side of the bridge.
That's right.
That's Bond to me.
That's Bond.
That is quintessential.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
And the music stings in this movie, man. I loved it.
Never like full on music, but always the little bump.
Oh yeah. And this movie just keeps going the entire time. And we should probably touch on this. We don't want this to go too much longer. That first 15 minutes is just that perfect.
Strong.
To go scene for scene with.
Strong.
Let's start off with, what did you think of the credits sequence of this movie? Because all Bond movies have really, really solid credits.
Are you talking about at the beginning?
Yes.
The
The Bond song. This year, this movie, it's Billie Eilish. One of the biggest pop stars at the time.
All right.
I didn't like it. I remember hearing that Billie Eilish is going to be the Bond songwriter this year. And I was like, that could be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Billie Eilish has a really good vibe, and it can be really, Bond.
I get it with the way they were doing the like the graphics and stuff.
The graphics were great.
It's almost like one of her music videos. So I get it, but it didn't hit. It missed.
I think the song didn't work as well, but the graphics were just as good as all the others.
Yeah.
Because, I'm pretty sure that's probably been the same team every time.
Yeah, it just missed.
Yeah.
It just missed a little bit. It
Yeah.
just wasn't terrible.
Adele, you can't really beat Skyfall. Skyfall's pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
But so, you go through the movie, you meet the new 007. I, personally, actually really liked her. She was a good, not antagonist, but anti-hero to Bond. She wasn't on his side up until a certain point, and then there's like a meeting of equals. Like, she realizes she's not all that great. And Bond realizes he probably shouldn't be treating her like shit. And they kind of have a look in the eyes of like, we're professionals. Let's do this professionally.
And then eventually gets the rub.
Yeah.
She gives it back.
She gives that moment is pretty well deserved of like the whole movie. She tells him she's the new 007. He's just like, it's just a number.
I should have known he was dying right then.
You should have.
Should have known he was dying right then.
I had heard.
Did you know he was dying?
I heard rumors, but I didn't want to believe it because I thought the same thing. They might have filmed two different things, and then in the actual movie, he lives.
First of all, I love watching a movie that I do zero research on prior to going into it because I was truly shocked.
Yeah.
When I say shocked, Ethan can tell you, I looked over at him and I was very disappointed and upset.
Yeah.
So,
but we'll get to that. So, you meet the new 007. She's kind of a bitch. She's not the nicest of people, and she feels threatened by Bond, as she should be.
Quality.
Because it's Bond. It's 007.
Sure.
He is the man. So they go through the movie. There's this nanobot that is the perfect assassin. It connects to your genetic material and is targeting just a single set of genetic material.
I want to know if that was how it was written prior to COVID, or if it was different.
If it was, whether it was nanobots or just an actual plague.
I want to know if there was something else going on, and they switched it over into like something that can
listen.
travel.
This movie got
super delayed.
So I actually 100% agree with you. I think it might have been just an actual chemical weapon, or
They used words like
biomedical.
pandemic
Yeah,
and quarantine. And they used words like that
Yeah.
in this movie.
I was very surprised.
You know? I'm just saying.
So, that's the big bad thing that they have to stop. That's the weapon that will end the world. And I think they were like doing projections. If the thing got out, it was like billions of people were gonna die.
Bill Gates pretty much was the bad guy in this movie.
Jesus. So we meet Rami Malek, who is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Who kills all of Spectre, which is very impressive.
It was very impressive.
That's what James Bond has been wanting to do this entire time.
Yeah.
And
He did it without touching him.
yeah, exactly. And eventually we do get the showdown between what's his name? Christoph Waltz's character.
Gilfield or whatever his name is?
Blofeld.
Blofeld.
Yeah. We get Blofeld and James Bond in the same room again. Since what was it? Is that Skyfall? I'm pretty sure that was Skyfall. And Blofeld is just being an asshole. Now,
That's his brother?
no.
Okay. I was confused on that.
In Spectre, James Bond's brother, like half brother or something like that, is the bad guy or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. But Blofeld is tied up. He's been in prison this entire time. And because Spectre's dead, they want information from Blofeld, who this guy is that's actually the mastermind. And before he goes in, he meets the girl from the opening, and she has been contracted by Rami Malek, Safin or something like that, the villain, and he's given her the nanobots to kill Blofeld. She puts it on like perfume, and you have to come into contact with the person. And before she leaves, because she can't handle killing somebody, James Bond grabs her arm. And can I just say that's like Hitchcockian suspense? Like, that's the ticking time bomb under the table while there's a dinner party going on. Like, it's going to happen. But when is it going to happen? If it's going to happen. Is he going to touch Blofeld? Blofeld's going to die if he touches him. He can't touch him, but he really wants to because Blofeld's being an absolute dick.
Yep.
And then finally, like, I did not expect it because, James Bond is very calm and collected. But you could see, like, the cracks. He's getting older. He's a little bit more loose.
Frustrated.
He's frustrated. He's wanting to do
And he
this.
wasn't actually 007. He was working with the CIA.
Yeah.
He's
lost some
he's
friends.
on his own, right?
Yeah, he's lost some friends. He's back in it with M, but
he was coming in doing
on the outs.
some consulting, some contracting work, okay?
But eventually he does break and he gets super pissed. And that is a very intense scene of just how angry Daniel Craig and Christoph Waltz get at each other.
Yeah.
But Blofeld dies.
Sure.
And so now we're in the third act. We got to stop Rami Malek from unleashing these nanobots across the world. And they go to this little island in the middle of nowhere in between Japan and Korea. And it's just this Russian, old Soviet, I think, facility.
From like World War II.
Yeah, or the Cold War. It has missile silos and everything.
Yeah.
And so that's where they're making all these nanobots in a farm.
Yeah.
It was an old poison farm, but now it's a nanobot farm.
That's right.
And they're making these nanobots, and the liquid that's in the nanobots can literally eat skin and material.
And
that was fascinating.
And it does.
It was scary.
But not some material. Some material it didn't eat.
Yeah, because
Whatever
people
they're
were
wearing
working it.
Yeah, so I want to know what that is, and I want to wear it.
Okay, one shot in this last third act that I really appreciated.
I know where you're going with this.
When he goes into, he's
In
like
the- in
shooting
the-
through, and
the
he
tunnel?
looks down the tunnel.
Has that happened in a Bond movie?
Multiple times. I mean, it's the opening, like, to every Bond movie.
No,
It's
I know
the-
that. I know it's the opening.
Yeah, but
But has it ever happened in a action sequence
I'm
like that?
pretty sure it has. I
Okay.
want to say at least in Daniel Craig, it's happened at least one more time. Like, you get like a tunnel, or I think it happened in like a bathroom or something. He's like fighting in a bathroom, and he looks down the hall of like the toilets, and you see a guy, and he like does the.
But it's
whip
just
and
a shot
shoot.
of him and shooting at the screen?
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like I remembered seeing that. So
Well, if
It was-
not, it's one of two.
yeah, and that is an awesome homage.
It was great.
Because I mean, you're
Gotta have that.
seeing Bond do the thing where he shoots at the camera.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
come
did,
on.
he did the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you were like, oh yeah. the few audible things you said during this movie, you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I giggle at all the stupid jokes.
Absolutely.
And I get excited about little things like that.
Oh yeah. And come to find out, the woman and James at the beginning of the movie they were lovers. There was some making love.
And the big secret was,
She had a baby.
and it was his.
She has his blue eyes.
Yeah.
She doesn't say it's his. She tells him it's not his. But let's be honest.
Yeah.
Those blue eyes. I know those anywhere.
And he figured out it was his baby before she told him.
Of course, because he's James Bond.
James freaking Bond.
But I do remember in the beginning, he puts her on a train. This is the last time you'll ever see me. You'll never see me again. And she like grabs her stomach. I was like, oh, she's pregnant. I knew it. I knew it from then. I was like, if there's a kid in this,
Sure
James
you did.
is.
Sure you did. Sure you did.
So yeah, Safin has the kid and the girl, and James is going in, and he works together with the new 007, and the 007 2M says, M, I would like Commander Bond's rank reinstated as 007. And there's just this look from Daniel Craig, and he's just like, really?
Yeah.
And she just says, it's just a number.
Yeah.
Again, that's the meeting of equals. It was like,
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah.
So, yeah. By the end of the movie, the only way to destroy the farm, because it's under the silos, is you have to open the silos to shoot the rockets in to explode it.
Yep.
And
Super complicated process to do that James Bond figured out in 13 seconds.
he just started pressing buttons.
Before the guy even told him how to do it, which is incredible. I love that part
I
of
did
it.
like Q in this movie too.
Yeah.
We've had the same Q for all these movies, but
Yeah.
he was pretty funny in this.
Yeah. Did a great job.
But yeah, Daniel Craig just runs into this old Soviet base, turns on the power, and then
Got
Q is
it.
like, okay, this is going to get real complicated. You're going to have to do a very specific set of
Got it.
switches. And he just starts moving them and pulls a lever.
Just like me in the video game.
Exactly. He's an old man. He doesn't care.
Yep.
So you eventually, Safin turns them back and closes them. So he has 9 minutes to open up the blast doors. And he goes up, he fights Safin, and Safin crashes some of the nanobots on his
The
face.
poison on him.
And so if he ever came into contact with the girl and his daughter ever again, he'd kill them.
Yep.
He can't do that.
The one thing he wants to do.
The one thing he wants to do, he had
Love.
time.
Love.
He wanted to love
And
her.
he had no time to die.
He had no time to die.
He also had no time to live.
I fully expected to hear her say, or like 007 to tell him there was no time to die, and just roll credits.
It was the other 007 that said it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Did she say it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was towards the end.
Yeah.
She said something. She's like, "I ain't got no time to die."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he goes back up. He opens the blast doors, but he realizes, he asks Q, "Is there any way to get this stuff off of me?" Q's like, "No." It's. I think they said it was like binded to his blood or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's just like, well, put her on.
Yep.
Has a very heartfelt conversation with her, just saying, I'm not coming back.
And then she goes, my favorite line of the movie, she goes, she does have your eyes. And he goes,
I know.
I know. You created the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. You killed James Bond.
But it's a badass way to go out. Let's be
I
honest.
guess if you want to die.
Yeah. And I will say this, as somebody that literally grew up on Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, watched every movie as they came out, seeing M and Q, Letterpenny, and the new 007 all in M's office having that drink and like that reading of whatever the book was for James.
Out of all the quotes.
Yeah. That was a silly quote. It fits, but it's like,
you know what I'd done if
pretentious.
I was writing the movie? It'd have been like, for Bond, blood, sweat, respect. The first two you give, the last one you earn. Dwayne Johnson.
But they can't do that because then they have to pay Dwayne Johnson money.
That's okay. It's all right.
But yeah, no, they have this small funeral because, I mean, nobody else knows who James Bond is except for them.
True.
They have this funeral, and man, when I tell you I got a little misty-eyed, I told you when we were walking out, I was a little heartfelt.
The scene where what's her name's driving the girl. They're back in the original scene.
Yes.
The opening scene.
And they're driving
the
down
car.
the coast.
Literally the same scene. She looks over at the kid and goes, "I want to tell you a story about a man named Bond, James Bond."
And then it ends. Again, it's one of those movies that maybe it's too fresh. Maybe I'm getting a little ruby glasses, but I really enjoyed it. I know that you don't like that James Bond died.
I know.
But-
I'm just nitpicking.
Yeah, but to me, like, for Daniel Craig to go out like that, I'm happy.
Well, I'll tell you this. If he doesn't die, they expect Daniel Craig to somehow or another get some money and come back as Bond.
Yeah.
Eventually, right? Because who are you going to replace with him? Why would you replace Daniel Craig with
Yeah.
Bond? Who's really
Chris,
better than Bond?
I was talking to Chris about it before we went. He was like, Tom Hardy's too old. He's older than when Daniel Craig started, so why would he do that? And realistically, we don't have another actor like that. Even Idris Elba, which is another forerunner to being a 007, which I would appreciate.
Throw this through the
Idris Elba as a spy in a movie doesn't have to be 007.
Sure,
I'd
he'd
love
be
that.
008.
Yeah.
Whatever. 006.
Whatever. Yeah. Again, that's where I'm at with Idris Elba.
No,
but that's the only other actor that I can think of right now that maybe.
No, here's what it's going to be.
Not Henry Cavill.
No, there's not going to be Bond.
Well, no.
There's going to be Bond. It's going to be the kid.
Oh God, that would be awesome though.
No, she killed. She escaped. She showed her little abilities.
Yeah, she hid like her mom told her to.
Yeah, she got out. Right, dude. I'm telling you, it's the kid.
I could appreciate that.
It's the kid.
Yeah.
I mean, if they want to go with something that's legit.
Yeah.
And you want to go with a girl, I know they want to.
Yeah.
That's it.
But that's you can respect that though.
And
like
that's and you're
that makes
telling
everyone happy.
The story of James Bond's daughter.
What was her name?
Matilda Bond.
Yeah.
Well, my name's Bond. Matilda Bond.
It wasn't Matilda. It was Matilda. It was like that Norwegian accent or whatever.
Maddie.
Yeah.
My name's Bond. Maddie Bond. All right.
Hey, listen. Daniel Craig is my favorite Bond ever. Sean Connery's a very close second, but man,
You're still not a Brosnan fan, huh?
Pierce Brosnan is Pierce Brosnan. I'm gonna like him as Dr. Fate.
So I mean, that was my Bond, though.
Yeah, I get that.
You know,
it's like Superman's. It's like Batman's. It's like Spider-Man's. Whatever you saw first is more than likely going to be your favorite.
Sure.
It's like wrestling fans. Whatever era you grew up on, it's more than likely your favorite.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I'm not even a wrestling fan. I know that.
Well, hey, man. I'm going to end this way I started it. Oh, fuck. You killed James Bond.
All right. If we're going to do movie ratings, I feel like we need a Chat with Gunner rating system.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. Now you get me into these things.
So how are we doing it?
So you wanted to give me okay.
So some of my favorites are like Jeremy Johns. He says awesome-tacular, or worth getting on Blu-ray, or worth seeing with a drink, or don't see it. That's a pretty good way of saying a movie. But I don't want to harp that.
We need to definitely come up with a scale.
Yeah.
All right. But for now,
yeah,
I would say on a scale of
IMAX to never.
Okay.
Yeah. So how about this? Our scale is don't see it drunk, stream it, or IMAX it.
Oh, I see what.
Because I would never recommend somebody just go seeing it.
We need to also, but it needs to be one though.
Okay.
Like it needs to be. Is this movie so good that I would just go watch it at any theater?
Okay.
Is this movie so good that I would stream it after I've already watched it?
Oh.
Is this movie so good that I would buy the DVD? Even though you could buy it on Prime, but like you actually want to have it to
a
like
physical copy,
just for like almost like hey man, I got this because that's what DVDs are for.
Yeah.
Would I not watch it at all, or would I IMAX that bitch?
I feel like IMAXing is, to me, seeing it in IMAX is the best way of seeing something.
But also, it's not a good rating because just because we saw it in IMAX doesn't mean I want to go watch it again in IMAX.
Exactly.
You know.
Well, if we stay relevant with our movie selections, if we're seeing movies as they come out and saying them, and while they're still in theaters, we can say like, go watch it in IMAX or go to the theater and watch it.
Oh, here's the thing. You don't want to stream this movie. You don't want to watch this movie on TV with commercials. You damn sure don't want to watch it in just some bougie ass theater
with theater
with terrible sound.
Yeah, you want to see this in IMAX or at least in theater.
Only way to watch this movie is in IMAX.
Yeah, and then it's definitely worth buying to finish the collection.
Is it worth the price of a $10 ticket?
$10? Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. If it's worth an IMAX ticket, absolutely.
So that's a way to do it. Netflix is $10.
Mm-hmm.
This is $10 a movie.
I would not stream it. I would own it. That's just my thing. What about you?
No.
You wouldn't own it? All right, that's fair.
I will watch this movie one time in my entire life.
That's fair.
Maybe that's a skill. How many times would you watch this movie?
That's good.
Moving forward.
Okay.
Like, would you like? I will
That's
watch this movie
that's our
one
new
time.
scale. Okay, we'll go on from here. How many times are you gonna see this movie ever again?
No.
I'll probably watch this anytime I marathon. If I'm gonna marathon James Bond, I'll watch it.
If this movie came on TV, I'd turn the channel.
Okay.
If this movie was on Netflix, I wouldn't click it to stream it. But I'm glad I watched it on IMAX.
It's good.
I'm glad I saw it once.
A happy one.
Can I also say something real quick?
Yeah.
Because the next movie review is going to be in November 11th.
Yeah.
I've already got my tickets. Rocky IV Director's Cut is coming into theaters November 11th with 45 minutes of additional scenes.
So I got to at least watch number 3 because I've seen the first 2 now. So I got to catch up. I won't watch Rocky IV before we watch that.
I've already got my seats, so you need to just go and figure out the
I'll
seats
figure it out.
somewhere. It's only one night only in every theater in town. Every theater across the country, they're just showing it for one night.
Awesome. That's how they did like Empire Strikes Back when I went and saw that.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right.
That's it.
Watch it on IMAX. Don't ever